And we're back with more exciting adventures of Incredible Hulks. I had for a second there, I had a mind blank.
That was a humongous pause.
Was it really big?
Sort of.
I think we should leave that one in. We'll leave that one. I'm Chris.
I'm Mark.
Well, I literally, I was I thought, you ever have those little mind hiccups or whatever?
Right.
I had one. It was just what's the show called for a second there?
Well, I think we got spoiled. We had an audience, and they've since
They're gone
left.
now. They're gone.
So we were waiting for the applause, and then we say
maybe that's what it was. We have a good topic though. Roll it out, or it's kind of like that's what topic. You have 2 points, and then we're gonna make them work. Go for it.
I would like to bring up what happened to me on March 2nd, 1991. I go to Best Buy,
Okay.
which for us Waco folks was still a rare. It was a new store, so we go there, and I get my first surround sound system.
The AWA, if I remember right.
And it was big. I mean, it was 3.5 foot high, whatever. It was that much wide. It was. You remember my speakers were really big.
Yeah, I do.
And that moment to me, I think is this very important pivotal moment. It leads us to where we are now. From March 2nd, 91 to 2017, you movie sales are down. The internet streaming's way up, and Blockbuster and Hollywood Video long since gone. When you make the home experience more entertaining and appealing than actually going to your car and going somewhere, it's the beginning of the end. So I think March 2nd, 1991 was the beginning of the end, because around that time, everyone I knew was starting to buy. It became really a big thing at that time.
It was on the fringe.
It was like in late '95 when everybody started buying personal computers. That computer boom started right then.
Yeah.
That Christmas season, and I of course got into that wave too. But for home entertainment around '91 was when everybody was starting to go buy that, and of course we had those Sony Trinitron flat screen TVs. Home entertainment, when you can go home and watch it, you're getting the movie quality sound, and now, of course, the TV's now in 4K, and you can eat what you want. You're not having to pay $20 for popcorn. You can get 99 cents popcorn at Dollar General.
Right.
or eat whatever you want. So I think that is a pivotal moment in history. Do you agree?
Well, part 2 of that is you also said one of the things you had your little list of subjects.
Yeah.
You said that bottled water sales for the first time have eclipsed soda sales.
Correct, as of last year.
Well, I think those are kind of hand in hand. I think all these things you're talking about go hand in hand. The technology boom with the internet of the 90s, things getting smaller, faster, quicker, better, louder, whatever. For instance, that AWA system that I think you first bought, I've got a sound bar in the living room that cost $150. That's 10 times better sound than any previous sound system I've ever bought.
Yep.
And it's just a sound bar with a subwoofer and 2 rear satellites. And you watch it, it's like, woof. I watched Alien Covenant earlier today, and it was good theater effect. Anyway, $150, so things have just gotten cheaper. So I think all these things are connected. I think that the consumers have changed, the markets have changed, technology has changed everything. Everything's smaller, it's more accessible. But I don't know that that's bad for anything. I don't know. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of the theaters. We've talked about this ad nauseum on the show. This is a recurring theme on this show.
Sure.
I don't think you're ever going to get rid of the theater experience.
No, it'll be there.
Just because you want to go out. I know I'm a square. I'm a fuddy-duddy. I don't like to drink. I don't like to go to bars. I find it utterly boring. So when I want to go out for the night, movies are high on my list of things to do. And I'm not the only one that's that way. So you'll always have a,
Mm-hmm.
you know, element of going to the theater and watching the movie stuff. But anyway, going back to the water, the home theater, the things are just more accessible. But there's goods and bads that have come with that. I think who's been hurt the most is the movie star. You know, Will Smith doesn't matter as much as he used to.
No.
Brad Pitt, George Clooney don't matter as much as you do. I mentioned
No.
Brad Pitt and Will Smith because now they got Netflix movies coming out. You know, War Machine for Brad Pitt came out on Netflix only. You know,
Wow.
and it's Will Smith's got one. You know, Adam Sandler's already gone on Netflix only.
Yeah.
The movie star I think is hurt. You don't have, you know, in the '90s every year is like, what's the big Schwarzenegger movie this summer?
Right.
And there was a string of summers in a row. It was like, well, what's Arnold's new movie this summer?
Yeah.
And
Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would wait for that was every movie every summer they're going to give you a movie.
Yeah.
And that's not longer the case. It's now about franchises. But there's
Yes.
benefits too. Like you and I can be artists in a digital age now that we couldn't be before.
True.
This show is not possible without the advent of the home PC, without the advent of the internet, without the advent of these cameras that are recording. You know, these cameras in here are all consumer-based cameras. They're not professional-grade cameras. This one over here catching audio is an older prosumer style, you know, consumer professional mix match. But everything in here is completely consumer-based.
Right.
So even we benefit through the show through it. So
Sure.
I'm preaching. I'm sorry, but anyway. So I don't know if your point was any of this is bad. I don't think any of it is.
No. I thought it was interesting. The water thing was interesting in that, you know, public drinking water has always been like, everyone pays water, like on part of your utilities. So you think it's just a given. It has been for decades. You just drink it off the tap.
Sure.
So my thought was, I wonder if that has more to do with the poor quality of public drinking water. Is that what it's a commentary on, or do people just want to be healthier and get away from sodas?
I think that.
Could be both. And then on the home entertainment side, I thought it was fascinating. And if you think about it, when you make something so enjoyable at home, it makes it more. You have less incentives to leave. So
Yeah.
for me, I got to thinking about it. I thought, you know, that around that time, when did all this start? You know, of where theaters became less exciting. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, you know, that around that time that there was the home entertainment boom was kind of the beginning of the end as far as their dominance. So that was my thought on that.
Well, we have a whole generation now that was raised that doesn't know the world without the internet, and they're entering the market as consumers. My daughter starts college, and she has never lived without the internet, and she's now reaching a college age. My son is in the consumer market, working and buying and having kids, and he does not know the world without the internet. So, like the water, you have a whole generation now that doesn't not know bottled water. You and I remember when bottled water was a niche. Like, bottled water? You paid for water?
Yeah,
What's wrong with you?
I know. I thought people were stupid to do that.
So you have a whole generation that's been retrained.
Yeah.
To get political, you also have a whole generation that's been retrained politically. And that's a little more scary without getting political.
Right.
But you have whole generations of people that I try not to get political, but they take certain things for granted as truth that are not necessarily truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Certain traditions have changed because there's been
Yeah.
other points of view that have are narratives. The narratives have changed.
The narratives have changed.
Yes.
So anyway, but to your original point, that was you marked the change of era. I
Yes.
cannot disagree with you. I can't. I think that's as good observation as any. That the era did change in the early 90s.
Well, remember when I used to actually keep up with like electronic fads?
Yeah.
Because I used to be that guy,
Sure.
right? And home entertainment was a boom. I was right there, right in
Yeah.
there. Personal computers, and then later it was the LED plasma, that whole thing, and I was right there. And I
Yeah.
overspent on a TV, which to this day none of my family know how much I paid. Secret I'll take with me to the grave. Actually, the receipt is in my files. They'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it'll be after the fact. I'll be long gone. Won't care. But anyway, I used to keep up with those kind of things.
Well, I will say this. The consumer market has changed where even I know my tastes have changed. I used to, well, I think we both would, pursue to watch all major movies and even TV shows.
Yeah,
And that's now impossible. You cannot do it.
there's just no.
I
way.
don't even know how critics watch everything. There is so much content
Right.
on so many platforms so often that I don't know how you can't watch it all. And another thing, this is another topic for another show. Disney is now going to pull their movies from Netflix for their own.
Right.
My fear is now we're going to have so many platforms people won't buy them all. Right now I have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. I'm not paying another 10 for Disney movies.
Correct.
I'm not paying another 10 for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those three are enough, dude. At some point, it's like
Yeah, enough's enough.
now I'm paying directly for just only one source of movie. So you see, so you're reaching that. They got to be careful with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably a topic for another show. But anyway, maybe the pendulum's swinging too far the other way. And maybe that will lead to people going back to the movies, going like, "Well, F Disney, I'm not paying $10 a month. I was going to go see the movie I want to see at the theater when it comes
True.
out."
True. We've actually done a show on maybe there's too much content, and
There
it
is
gets
too much
and
content.
it does get back to that.
I think there is too much content.
But 1991, I think, was the beginning of the end of the dominance of movie theaters.
It's all Bill Clinton's fault. And with that, that's you.